The free $20,000 MLB 10 Runs for Free Cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome in the sportsbookreview.com. It is Thursday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. It is a short card today, but we got you covered. Yesterday, for myself, picked up a couple wins on some team totals. Ozzie Albies going 0 for 5, costing me my odds boost. Come on now, brother. Got to get at least one base hit out of the leadoff position, but a good night overall for me. I know there is football tonight, but we got a Major League Baseball card to get after. I'm Donnie Seymour along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. Let's get it started on a Thursday. Jason, how you feeling today? Nobody won in the NL East yesterday, so hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I did have the Braves, and I know Kyle had the Braves as well, so it wasn't fun yesterday. I was kind of rooting for those Braves to get the job done, and Nolan was out of the game after just getting one out because he hit Freeman. Missed him the first time, hit him the second time, so it was clearly intentional, and that was due to Soto being hit the day before. So didn't get Nolan on the mound, and that just kind of screwed up the entire bet for the Braves over in the first 5, and of course over in the full game in the first 5 for Kyle. So it just kind of stunk, and I guess that just kind of happens here and there.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, look at
there we go.
I
wonder,
ready
I
for
always
football
wonder,
season.
does it do that on YouTube too, or just on our call? I have no idea if that ever. I have no idea how that works.
Yeah.
Look at him, man. Looking good. Kyle, he's looking good out there. Sometimes I wish I was just frozen with a smile on my face for the show so I can relax.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds great. Well, that's why we have you here, so I get to relax most of the time, right? Just make Donnie do all the work. I just chill back. Then when I do other stuff, I'm like, oh, crap, I have to actually do work here. But, yesterday was brutal. Let's be honest. For me, it was brutal. I gave myself a little bit of a pass after what Jason said. And, look, we haven't had that many bad days here. It's been an amazing year. So once in a while, it's going to happen. You got to eat your crow. You can let me have it in the chat box. I was a dumbass yesterday. It was very, very brutal. Hoping to get back on track today. And I agree with the chat box. Today should be a national holiday as part of our plan to fix America. The Super Bowl should be on Saturdays. No game show should ever have a grand prize of less than $50,000. I hate watching a game show, and their grand prize is $10,000. And you shouldn't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. Let's fix America. There's my 4-step plan right there.
There you go. 4-step plan, rocking and rolling and ready to go. In-game live updates right now. Dodgers now sit 2 back in the West, and we had a game today actually underway, 4th inning right now. The Dodgers won. The Cardinals won. -140 on the money line for the Dodgers. Over-under split right now at 7 here at the FanDuel Sportsbooks. Any thoughts here earlier, Jason? I thought the Dodgers would be able to bounce back today. Price was a little bit high, but hey, Dodgers got to win here to keep up with those Giants.
Yeah, look, Woodford, easily the worst pitcher on today's slate. But, in the last 30 days, 2.79 xFIP, striking out 31.3%, walking 0% of batters. That's only with 16 batters. But, he's been a lot better than I think. With those 16 at-bats before today, he looked pretty good. So that's why he kind of stayed away from there. And it looks like so far he's held his own against the Dodgers. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 earned run, 3 hits. Has been bad, so kind of glad I stayed away from that. But easily the worst pitcher on today's slate. Again, he's looked pretty good, I guess, in the last couple of starts.
Not surprising there. It's a 1-1 game in the 4th inning. When I was looking at the game overall, right-handed batters versus the Dodgers, right-handed pitchers versus the Dodgers over the past 30 days, they haven't really played all that well with the lineup that's out there today. Any looks here, Kyle, from that early game, Dodgers and Cardinals? If we're looking at a -148 here, I trust the Dodgers a little bit more if it's one of those bullpen-type situations where the game could turn into. But, again, no real play for me on this. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I sort of stayed away, but I agree with you. I guess you start getting minus 148. That's a better number than we typically get on the Dodgers, right? The numbers are insane with them. And I agree, Woodford just absolutely dreadful. And you got Gonsolin on the mound, who's shown some upside. He was really good his last time out against the Cardinals, actually put up 49 fantasy points. But I'd say the lean here would be the Dodgers. If I'm live betting it, I'm certainly betting the Dodgers. The price isn't too high, 148. I can live with that. And you're right, they got to get a win here. It's time for the Dodgers to get a win. I certainly trust them more than I do the Cardinals.
The Dodgers need a win. You know, and else needs a win here. The Oakland Athletics to try to keep pace here in the AL West. Let's take a look at this ball game today, and we will break it down because why? It's coming up at 3:37 p.m. Eastern Time. Lopez versus Minaya. Looks like 137 offshore Pinnacle right now. 146 here in New Jersey at FanDuel. There are some 140s to 148s depending on where you're shopping at. So roughly, let's just say flat number of that 140. 8.5s to 8s depending on where you're shopping. And also, I do see some books out there showing a 7.5. So not much runs expected here. But I have to tell you, looking at the team totals here, Chicago White Sox 3.5 minus 105. So it looks like one of those spots where you might get a depressed number that you could take a look at, even with the heavy clicking in the background right in my ear. I could still flow through this like an absolute pro right
what
now.
What the hell's going on back there?
Minaya,
still getting them out of cobble. We're getting them out of cobble back there. Let's get them out.
I love it. Look, I think people throw those wrenches out there just to test. Like Jason tests me every day with the blower in the background. Kyle tests me with air jets flying over or cars outside. Fantastic stuff. I love it. But I look at that lineup today, stacked up right-handed batters versus Minaya, who struggles with right-handed batters. Am I wrong? Is this number a little bit off for me, Jason? 3.5 minus 105?
No, you're not. Minaya 4.81 xFIP. Strikeouts are high enough, 22.9%. The walks at 6.7%, but the ground ball rate low, also line drive contact a little bit high and hard contact also high. Minaya started off the year red hot and now struggling a little bit in the second half of the season. Hasn't been nearly the pitcher he was earlier on in the year. Look at this White Sox offense. Their weighted OBA for the projected lineup, 361, striking out just 18.4% against lefties. And like you said, they're going to have a bunch of righties, probably, I guess all 9 batters will be righties against the left-hander there. So, yeah, I like the White Sox in this spot. And Reynaldo Lopez probably won't go deep, 5 innings at most for Lopez. Hasn't really pitched all that much, 65 pitches in his last outing against the Royals, and then 9 pitches against Pittsburgh for 1 inning back on September 1st. So you can't really expect him to go very deep in this game because he hasn't really been stretched out. But outside that, yeah, I still like the White Sox on their offense. And then I think the Athletics, they could probably score later in the game, potentially against the bullpen. The White Sox bullpen is pretty good, but it's probably better for the Athletics. They can definitely use some damage against bullpens. We've seen that plenty of times this season.
Yeah, it's interesting because it looks like the backup pitchers are starting to start down the stretch for the White Sox as they try to line up and get their starting pitching staff absolutely healthy for the playoffs. And I completely agree. So maybe a little bit of a downturn because yesterday you had Keuchel. He did his normal 5 innings, 5 earned runs, and took a loss like we thought he was going to do. But today, I think the bats, as I said, line up well. But as Jason points out quite frequently, that's a pitcher's ballpark, man. You lose probably an out to 2 outs per game just on the foul balls there, and the ball doesn't travel all that well in Oakland as is. But I still look at that 3.5 number, and it always makes me want to bite. I get 9 full at bats with them Chicago White Sox just to get 4 runs, and I'm not even paying like a minus 155. It's a relatively cheap number here, Kyle. What are you looking at today between these two, between the White Sox and the Athletics?
Yeah, I have a strong feeling this game is going to come up again at one of our further categories here in the show. And I think you're right. That 3.5 is probably the product of the pitcher's ballpark. Minaya, for all of his struggles, was actually pretty good in his last start against the White Sox. He did put up 49 fantasy points, but we still have a weighted 3-year OPS of 812. When I look at the White Sox lineup, how they project today off Minaya, I have 9 hitters all in the green. That means every hitter in the lineup has an advantage. I thought for sure when I first looked, the book I was looking at had the total at 4, and it was at even money. I'm like, oh God, if I want the 3.5, I'm probably gonna have to pay 135, 140. At 105, I was pleasantly surprised. So I think the number's right. Yes, we have actually looked at the lineup. I'm looking at it right now. Mendick 2%, Hamilton, Grandal, Robert, Abreu, Hernandez. That's enough in the lineup for me. I actually don't mind Andrew Vaughn all that much either. So I think the White Sox get to the 4 runs today. I like that on the team total. And just sort of on the flip side of that, we sort of pick on Reynaldo Lopez. He's not a very good pitcher, and he's certainly been dreadful over the last, outside of one pretty solid start. I mean, we're talking about single-digit fantasy points here. But his last 4 against Oakland, the totals kind of blew me away a little bit, especially for this guy. 46, 43, 38, and 33. I thought that was a bit surprising here. I like the White Sox here. You get a nice number on it, plus money in the first 5 innings if you want to take a stab at that. But for me, the play here is the White Sox over 3.5. And you're damn right, Isaiah. Yeah. I do not want another bad day. We're not having another bad day. I like this play a lot.
Yeah, because you take a look at Manaea over the last 30 days. He's one of the worst pitchers in the entire Major League Baseball facing right-handed batters. He's getting 9 of them today. 441 weighted on base percentage, a 361 ISO power number. Check out some of these guys in the lineup today for the White Sox with their ISO power numbers. Robert 296, Abreu 368, Grandal 1200, Vaughn 286, Zavala 308. That is a pretty good lineup in here today. And again, it's prefaced by saying if Manaea is facing all lefties in the lineup, he would dominate. But he's been atrocious on the mound versus righties over the past 30 days. 4 runs isn't a lot over 9 innings. I like that play very, very much. Let's keep on moving down the list as we go. Colorado and Philadelphia here. Rainy day situation in Philadelphia. We'll see if the game does get underway. Suarez will be on the mound. He's a -190. Now, immediately when you say that, the Phillies are an average baseball team. They're average right now. And I know Colorado plays much better at home than they do away. But when you take a look at the Colorado lineup as it profiles against left-handed pitchers, they rake them. What person in their right mind is taking the Phillies at -190 without, like, Zach Wheeler on the mound, Jason?
Yeah, and like you said, the Rockies' offense has been incredible against lefties. Suarez is a turned reliever into starter now, and he's been good. We won't take anything away. The walks are a little bit high, but he's been good. Like you said, this Rockies lineup. You have Garrett Hampson 222 ISO in the last 30 days. Rogers 278, Story 429, Blackman 400, Crone 350, and Diaz 250. Then the remaining 3 are Tapia, who hasn't really played much, but he's capable of getting on base. Welker, who has only 1 plate appearance all season, and then the pitcher, of course. But right now, if you look at the line, it's a 1.5 in the first 5 for this Rockies lineup with an ISO power number of 321, a weighted OBA of 425, and striking out under 18% of the time against lefties. All you need is 1 bloop and 1 blast, and you get that covered. So I like the Rockies here. I think they should be able to get 2 runs in the first 5 innings. Now, I've done this plenty of times this year with the Rockies on these low numbers on the road. It doesn't work out. I always lose them, but I can't ignore these numbers like Donnie was talking about. I can't ignore them. I got to roll with them. So I do like that over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total at -110, a normal price for the Rockies in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking a look at some elevated. You want to talk about elevated numbers? I just talked about some of those White Sox bats here that should do some damage today. A ton of righties, but look at the ISO power numbers again: 222, 263, 435, 333, 333, and 250. It's almost like, where do you sign up and why aren't the Rockies favorites? Well, we know why the Rockies aren't favorites. They don't play that well on the road. Do the Phillies need to win? That doesn't mean your curveball is going to break an extra 3 feet to get strikeouts because you need to win on the mound. I'm a big-time Phillies fan. I want them to win this baseball game. I really do, but there's no way in hell, Kyle, I'm laying that price.
Yeah, I completely agree. How in the world could you ever do it? And you're right. I get it. The Rockies stink on the road. I mean, they're one of the worst road teams you're going to see in recent memory. I don't want to hold the bag on either of these teams to win. I don't expect the Rockies to win on the road. I'm not taking the Phillies at -190 with Ranger Suarez on the mound. That's just not going to happen.
It hasn't been bad, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just no. Hell no. Never, never, ever am I going to do that. I will say this, though. Both team totals are live. Now, the concern with this game is, will they play? And the weather situation there is murky, and if they do play, it looks like they'll be playing through some rain. So that could possibly hold the totals down a little bit. But the Rockies at 3.5 against Ranger Suarez, I'm looking at 6 hitters here in the green and some of the power guys. Trevor Story, 57% advantage. CJ Crone, 18%. Garrett Hampson at the bottom of the order, 39%. Brendan Rodgers at the top, 67%. So there's a lot to like here for that Rockies lineup. I think that 3.5 is a little low, and it's doable. And on the flip side of that, Senzatella, although he's been okay recently, especially his last 3 starts, he's been pretty solid. He's been pretty bad against the Phillies. It's a weighted 3-year OPS of 754. I think the Phillies are live for 4.5 as well. So I lean the over in this game if they actually play despite the weather. Again, I wouldn't jump all over and start betting this early. You might want to wait and make sure that it's actually going to play, depending on how your book handles that situation. But yeah, I like both team totals here, and I like the over. No way I'm picking either side to win. And 0.0% chance I'm backing Ranger Suarez at -190. No way in hell.
Yep, maybe the game plays, maybe it doesn't. But you should be playing in the Pick Six contest here at sportsbookreview.com. Come on, it's week 1. I'm signed up. I haven't made my stuff finalized yet, but we do have an NFL show coming up in just a few hours. They will be locked in, loaded, and ready to go for the weekend. Maybe next year, Kyle, they will include team totals. Maybe just
that would be amazing, right? And get rid of the college picks too. Those damn cheaters picking college football.
Exactly. They're going to be 6-0 before I even take the field on Sunday, right, Kyle? Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how is someone 47 units up? It's because it's college football. I mean, what a weird ass sport. Oh, the line is minus 47.5 for Alabama. What the hell do you do with that? I never know.
Oh, boy. Yeah, exactly.
Just take it, right? Yeah.
I'll tell you, he's going to take something now. The New York Yankees better start taking something before they find themselves out of the playoffs here. 965, 966, Toronto, and the New York Yankees. Barrios on the mound versus the lefty Cortez. If we take a look across the line, minus 120s across the board. The same way I played the Toronto team total yesterday at 4.5. Am I playing them again today? No, I'm not. But if I'm looking for a team that is absolutely red hot for a team struggling, I'm going to continue to ride those streaks at a cheap price of plus 100. Barrios, give me him over Cortez, but primarily give me that entire Toronto lineup facing a left-handed pitcher when they're all going to be righties. That's just the way I see it now. And if the Yankees lose again here and that continuation of the Blue Jays moving up in the standings, this is going to be a wild collapse, Jason, in New York.
Yeah, this is just like the White Sox and taking them on the over on their team total with all the righties against Manaea here. The same thing with Cortez. He's a lefty. Now you're going to have 9 righties in the lineup for the Blue Jays that are going to smoke Cortez. Cortez in his last 80 plate appearances against righties, a 331 weighted OBA and an ISO of 213. Both are above the average and not very good. His strikeouts are lower to righties. Walks are also higher to righties. Ground balls are lower to righties. Line drive rate higher to righties. Hard contact also higher to righties. So, look, again, he's way worse against righties. He gets bailed out from lefties in the lineup. Well, today he's not going to get a lefty in the lineup there. And so I like the Blue Jays. I think they're able to score plenty of runs against Cortez early. Again, this is the hot team, and the Yankees are the colder team. So I like the Blue Jays to score at least 3 runs in the first 5 innings as well.
Blue Jays, Yankees, Kyle, here. Runs, no runs, underdog. Yankees get it right. What are we thinking here?
This one, I thought the number was a little bit weird. If I look at the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the card, it's not Ranger Suarez. He's actually the second highest. It's Nestor Bob Marley Cortez with a 934 weighted OPS against the Blue Jays. His last 4 starts, his fantasy totals are 14, 12, 4, and 9. That's against Toronto. The lineup profiles beautifully. On the flip side of that, Barrios hasn't been great against the Yankees, but certainly better than Cortez. I prefer Barrios here. It's one of the lower weighted 3-year OPSs on the card at 646. I like how this Blue Jays lineup looks tonight. And look, this is another game where there's some weather concerns here, so you might have to hold off before you jump in too soon, again, depending on how your book works and how mentally all that works for you. That's completely up to you. But I like the Blue Jays here. I think the number's wrong. You can actually get them, right about, it's pretty much a pick 'em in the first 5, minus 105, minus 110 here in the first 5 innings on the money line. If you want to take that extra half run and win with a tie, you can get that at minus 145. I know Barrios hasn't been great against the Yankees, but certainly better than Cortez profiles against the Blue Jays. I'm back on the Blue Jays again. I think they continue to win in this series. They've been good to us so far. I'm going back to the well. I like the Blue Jays in the first 5 innings.
Absolutely. Going back to the well here. Let's get to some value menu wagers on the card. 2-1 2 days ago. Profitable there. And, of course, yesterday 2-0 on team totals. Profitable. I expect to be profitable again today. Got a 3-pack today, so we'll give a couple plays out now and then save one for a little bit later. First, we're going to go over Chicago White Sox getting started right away here. That 3.5 minus 105 that I picked up here at BetMGM. Seems like the easy way to go in this one. If it loses, they get 2 runs. You're still going to be in it late into that baseball game. If you have a close game, you might get extra innings, but I expect them to do some damage versus Manaea today. And sometimes you're looking at these numbers saying, hey, you probably got to cash a 5.5 or a 5 with the Chicago White Sox. Depressed line total, 3.5 minus 105 going up against Manaea today in the afternoon. Sign me up. I'll take it. Jason, what are you looking at here for some value menu action?
Yeah, so I've got a bunch of value plays. Not going to be putting too much on any of them. Just 3 plays that you can just enjoy and have fun with. Today, obviously, don't have an official play, but plenty of things that we can go out and enjoy. So the first one, the Blue Jays over 2 in the first 5 on the team total at plus 110. Again, we already talked about the Blue Jays and their offense, how they profile against Cortez. You get 2 runs, it's a push. You get 1 more, that's 3, and it's a win. At plus 110, having that insurance at 2 it's enough for me to take it there. Like the Rockies, talked about that game as well. Rockies over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total at -110. Just a bloop and a blast, get 2 runs, and you'd be able to cash that ticket through the first 5 innings. And then lastly, we haven't talked about this game yet, but the Orioles over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total +105. Just kind of more of a momentum game here. The Orioles scored 9 runs in the 8th inning, and going up against Carlos Hernandez, I think they should be able to get the job done there. The top of the order, the first 6 batters have some really good numbers against righties in the last 30 days, and I think that stack should be able to get the job done and score at least 3 runs in the first 5 innings. Again, this is at plus money.
All right, 250 people watching live here on a Thursday. I know you're waiting for football content and football games. We get it, but Major League Baseball still has a lot left on the bone to pick up some dubs and some cash. Kyle, where are we going today with your value?
I'm going to go to this Atlanta Braves-Washington game, and for me, it's just a complete fade of Eric Fed, whatever. I probably got his name wrong. I don't know. Fede. Let's call him Fede since I like to call him over. So Eric Fede, here's his last 5 starts. His fantasy totals against Atlanta: 5, -7, 9, 11, and he does have 124. I expect the Braves to score early and often in this game. I'm not going to go with the team total because I got a little bit scared yesterday, but I like a -0.5 in the first 5. It's at -145. That's why it's on the value menu. Now, Huascar Ynoa is not Sandy Koufax. 73 combined fantasy points, however, in his last 2 starts against Washington. I think he's exponentially better than Fedde. When you look at the weighted OPS, it's about 10 points better here, or 100 points better here for the Braves, and 872 for the Braves off Fedde versus 726 off of No. I think the Braves score early, get some runs. The winds are blowing out, according to every weather projection that I can see. Braves score, they score early. I don't mind their team total. If you prefer to go that way and get a little bit better number, don't mind it, but I think they win that first 5 innings -0.5 in the first 5.
All right, let's get to the odds boosted section. Yesterday, almost perfection yesterday. Picked up an odds boost 2 days ago. Just missed out yesterday because Ozzie Albies went 0 for 5 for me. But I'm going to go back to the well. One of my favorite ones and the most profitable ones that I've had this year at Fox Bet. That is the hit prop. So I'm going to go with Mullins, Stanton, and Blackmon, each to get a base hit or more at Fox Bet. That's boosted up once again to +250. Going to have 5 at-bats, probably at least from each of those guys here to do some damage. That's the way I'm looking today. Hopefully I can pick that up along with a couple wins on the team totals to cash in some tickets. Jason, where are you looking at today for your odds boost on a Thursday?
Yeah, look, there aren't many great options today. Of course, you go through all of the books, and it's mostly the 2 games that might not even play, like Kyle was talking about earlier. But if you go to the Barstool app, they do have this pretty cool one that you can root for. And it kind of ends quickly. It's the no runs scored in the first inning in all 3 games. The Rockies, Phillies, the Royals, Orioles, and the Nationals, Braves boosted from 690 to 750. So it's a one-inning type of deal. You can root for it, watch it for 30 minutes, and it's over. At +750, what the heck? Why not just roll with that? Again, there's not much to like here, so we'll just go with a little bit harder one, and we'll just have some fun.
All right, there you go. What are you looking at, Kyle, today? Some odds boosts. Now, there's some really good odds boosts on football, but this ain't a football show, Kyle.
I know. I wanted just to take football and say, screw these baseball. And you can tell Jason's buying a house, right? Trying to get crazy, getting all these crazy bets. He's got to pay that mortgage. Yep. Dang, otherwise he's moving in all alone, right? And he'll have to do all the remodeling by himself. You never want that. So I went to this Rockies-Phillies game. Now, I understand there's concern about the weather. But if the game does play, I think both pitchers are obviously hittable. I'm going to take the best 2 hitters in the 2 lineups, Ryan McMahon and Bryce Harper, to have at least 1 RBI each. It's boosted from 350 to 400. So if this game plays and there's runs, I expect
it is going to play,
guys,
by the way.
I hope it does. I hope it does, and I hope the odds boost finally hits. If it doesn't, you'll never hear a word about it because I never count an odds boost lost, obviously. You'll just never. But if it wins, expect the Twitter feed to be rolling tonight. But no, I like Harper and McMahon, 1 RBI each, boosted from 350 to 400. That, too, is over at Fox Bet.
Yeah, Bryce Harper had the single good guy that's keeping the Phillies actually level here is Bryce Harper at this point here. Let's get to some best bets on the Major League Baseball board. I'm going to go with a 2-pack. And again, so they'll give me 3 plays today. Bet them all the same. 2-1 is always the goal. And I know Jason was talking about the game here between Kansas City and Baltimore. I'm actually going to go to the other side of the equation and take the Kansas City Royals team total 3.5 -140 at BetMGM. Reason being, John Means over the past 30 days, 4.64 xFIP number. He's been absolute. Same thing as Minea. Absolutely hammered by right-handed batters here. 419 weighted on base percentage and ISO power. I don't even understand this. He's faced 69 batters here in the last 30 days. A 415 ISO power number over 69 batters. Is everybody hitting the ball either over the fence or off the wall in this guy? It was a no-brainer for me. He's going to get a right-hand heavy lineup. Do I love the lineup for the Royals? No, I don't. Small ballpark, bad pitcher, 4 runs. Sign me up on that one. And also the second one. This one's a little bit more expensive here, but I do think we're going to wake up and do some damage. And as Kyle brought up here as well, taking a look at the Atlanta Braves going against Fetty tonight. Another one of these guys. Can anybody get right-handed batters out? 413 weighted on base percentage, ISO power number of 250. You got some damn good power in the lineup tonight anticipated for the Braves. Take a look at the ISO power numbers for the Atlanta Braves versus right-handed pitching over the last 30 days. 338, 188, 188, 313, 477, 300, 200, and 167. Sign me up on that one. 4.5 at -155. No reason to believe they're not getting 5 runs tonight for me. I think I got a good shot at going 3-0 tonight. Jason, what do you got here? Best bets and bankers, or even if you wanted to spread it out like I'm doing here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't spread it out, but I gave out all the value.
There's jokes for that.
Yeah, there is.
The Blue Jays over 2 first 5 on the team total, plus 110. Rockies over 1.5 first 5 team total, minus 110. Orioles over 2.5 first 5 team total at plus 105. And just to go back off that Orioles game, I don't think I gave enough analysis there. Mullins, Mountcastle, Santander, Hayes, Stewart, all have high ISO numbers, all have high enough weighted OBA numbers. At the team, ISO 225, weighted OBA 318. So there's enough there. A lot of the guys at the top of the order aren't hitting many ground balls. And then in the middle of the lineup, there's a lot of batters that can do some damage when it comes to line drives. Also, playing in Baltimore, that should help Donnie and my bet out as well. It's a smaller ballpark, and it's great for home runs. So I think both teams should be able to score. I like the over in this game, of course, as well. And again, those are my 3 value plays.
There you go, Esteban. If you want to slide it down to the best bets on the Major League Baseball board, just in time for Kyle to give a nice play tonight.
I'm glad the chat box get the jokes. They go ahead and fill that in for us so that I don't get in trouble. That's my favorite part about the chat box. So make sure you fill it all in.
They know you.
They know exactly what I'm up to here. Okay, so I'm going back to that White Sox game. I cannot look at 9 hitters in the green, look at Sean Manaea on the mound, what right-handed pitching have been doing to Sean Manaea, and not take the 3.5 at -105. If the White Sox can't get to 4 runs tonight here, I don't know what they're doing as one of the front runners in the American League. I expect them to smash Manaea tonight. My best bet, banker, play of the day, whatever you want to call it. Let's go White Sox. Get me to 4 and save some face after a dreadful day yesterday.
Yeah, I think we got some good plays on the card tonight, feeding right in. I guess, you can try to take a look at the Major League Baseball card today. Pretty interesting that every game starts right around, either before 7 o'clock or right around 7 o'clock, trying to clear it out. So most people, once 8 o'clock starts, they will start to shift their focus around to an NFL game tonight, which is going to be very interesting. But let's get to the odds lightning round and pick on some of these last games to see if there's any edges that we can find here. Minnesota and Cleveland, Quantrill versus Albers on the mound today. -144s to -150s across the board. Total in this game at 9. Taking a look here in Cleveland, what are we looking at, Jason, between Albers, the lefty, and Quantrill on the mound today?
Yeah, Kyle talks about this all the time. Quantrill's one of the better pitchers in the league, at least in the last, since I guess the deadline. 394 xFIP in the last 30 days, striking out 24.5% of the batters. Ground ball rate high, line drive rate is low. Yeah, he's been really good, and I would trust him. He's been a little bit worse against lefties, but there's really no lefties in the lineup outside of like Kepler that can do major damage against Quantrill. So like the Indians here, I think they can obviously get to the Twins bullpen later in the game as well. So would go the Indians in this route.
All right, Indians in this one. Let's go back down to South Florida. Low-scoring game. We'll see if we get another low-scoring game today. New York Mets and the Miami Marlins. Stroman versus Luzardo on the mound. 7.5 across the board. That tells you the tale. But how about this? The New York Mets, a heavy favorite today with Stroman on the mound. -196 here in New Jersey. That's certainly a number a little bit too high for me. Luzardo does show the talent in his last couple starts here, trying to bail himself out, but he just reverts back. I don't know. You're going to get a lot of Mets bats stacked up to the right-hand side, but is that enough, Kyle, to go over the 7.5? Looks to me like another lower scoring game that might be on tap here.
Yeah, and this kind of makes me like I'm having a gag reflex where I'm about to gag on, but I like the Mets here. Of course, you can't take that huge number on the Mets. So I would take him in the first 5 innings. Does it make me nervous? Of course it does. I mean, Luzardo, for as bad as he is, he could no-hit the Mets in the first 5 innings, for Christ's sake. It's the Mets.
Especially Lindor.
Yeah, I mean, you get 3 strikeouts from at least 2 strikeouts from Lindor. So, it's a little bit brutal there, but I do think they win the first 5 innings. I actually do like how their lineup profiles a little bit. I considered the team total until I realized, oh yeah, I'm talking about the Mets here. There's no way in hell I'm ever doing that for the rest of my life. It is a high-weighted OPS. Mets against Luzardo, 833, 656 for Stroman. It's actually the biggest discrepancy on the board in terms of starting pitcher versus the lineup. I think the Mets get it done early. I'll take him in the first 5 innings, minus 0.5 at minus 125. But yes, do it with bated breath. Hold your breath. Be nervous because it's the Mets. But they have the advantage tonight. They have the better lineup tonight and the better pitcher. The numbers tell me it's Mets, and it's Mets in the first 5 innings.
Let's go, Mets. That's what Jason wants to hear tonight. Kansas City and Baltimore. We talked about it here on a couple of these plays. Cheap number here, 116, 120s across the board. 9.5s, 9s, 8.5s, even if you're shopping around here. I'm sorry. When I see Baltimore and I just see that small ballpark, nobody really cares. There's no good bullpen action. I see runs. So I would lean towards, I'm not going to take the over for the game, but I do lean towards that action. But I do like Kansas City and think they get to the 4 runs here. What do we take a look at in this game, matching up between Kansas City and Baltimore here, Jason, again?
To your point, the Orioles scored 9 runs in the 8th inning. Then the Royals came back and scored 3 in the 9th inning, and the Orioles then almost blew that. So the bullpens have been awful for both of these teams, and they'll allow even if you're up 5-0, they'll allow you back into the game and whatnot. So I agree with the over in this game. I think the Orioles and the Royals can score some runs in this game. Of course, I'm on the Orioles over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total, but also agree with Donnie there with the Royals against the Means. So either way you go, I think this game definitely goes over.
There you go. Last game, we'll talk about Washington, Atlanta, where I think there are going to be runs here. We're taking a look at 9.5s, mostly 9s as well across the board. A heavy favorite for Atlanta. And Noah's not the best pitcher in the world, but he's laying 235 here at FanDuel in New Jersey. But again, I think the Atlanta Braves will wake up tonight. I think they will hit. That's the way I'm looking in this game. Kyle, what are your thoughts between the Braves and the Washington Nationals here?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Braves should hit, and I think the over 9.5 would be the play. The wind's blowing out. Noah, again, it isn't Sandy Koufax, but I certainly think he's better than Fetty here. And you look at these advantages for Atlanta, especially against right-handed pitching. I mean, Adam Duvall for his career, 7 of 12, 2 home runs, 2 doubles. Travis d'Arnaud, 3 of 10. He's also got a home run. Ozzie Albies, 5 of 12. Austin Riley, 5 of 12. Freddie Freeman, 4 of 12. These guys can hit off of Fetty. He doesn't profile well. I think the Braves score. I think the team total's obviously live over 5. I didn't go that route today, but I certainly don't mind those of you who do. But I do expect Atlanta to score more early off of Noah and get it done in the first 5 innings, lower that price a little bit. It's at minus 145 if you take that run line in the first 5 innings. That's the way I'm going here. Love Atlanta in DFS as well. I'll be stacking them in DFS. Like some home run props, especially for Duvall and even Riley here. And, of course, Freeman going against a righty. For my money, it's Braves first 5, minus 145, and I don't mind a sprinkle on the team total as well.
All right, action-packed show here on a Thursday, an NFL Thursday, but there is some money to be made on this Major League Baseball card today. We are going to clear the bases, but as always, before we get out of here, we are going to let you know exactly what we are feasting on tonight. 3-pack for me, Chicago White Sox team total over 3.5, Kansas City over 3.5, as well as the Atlanta Braves over 4.5. And my odds boost tonight, the 3 players that at least have to get a hit a piece or more will be Mullins, Stanton, and Blackmon at plus 250. Jason, what are we on tonight?
Yeah, so we got 3 plays as well, all value plays. Do not be putting too much money on this. I know Kyle and Don, you're going to joke about these being official, but they're absolutely not official here.
They are 100% official. Don't listen to them.
But the Orioles over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total, plus 105. Rockies over 1.5 first 5, team total minus 110. And also the Blue Jays over 2 first 5, team total at plus 110. And we'll do the odds boost. That's the no runs in the first inning in those 3 games on Barstool. Obviously, it's at like plus 750, so it's not supposed to hit, but we'll just enjoy it, have some fun, and if it does hit, it will make up for the loss yesterday with the Braves.
All right, Kyle, what do we got today? Clear them bases.
Okay, so once again on the value menu, the A's minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 145. My play of the day is going to be that White Sox team total over 3.5 at minus 105. For the odds boost, assuming it plays, Rockies, Phillies, McMahon, and Harper 1 RBI each boosted up to plus 400. And for those of you looking for the home run props today, my list of 4 goes like this: Adam Duvall, Pete Alonso, Austin Riley, and Salvador Perez for those Royals.
All right, that'll do it for the Major League Baseball show here for Thursday. You know what's coming up in just about an hour's time? The NFL show, hitting every game with that broad stroke. Of course, talking about the game tonight between the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But we are in it to win it tonight. Once again, I'm Donnie RightSide along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. And as always, good luck on those wagers.